and welcome back. So, since last recording, I've hooked up this patch of iron and forgotten to put down a radar. I've added a radar to this one and it's going along swimmingly. We seem to have slightly unequal loading of the two halves, but I'm not that worried actually, because at the moment, yeah, although I split the thing in half, it seems like one half is mining much quicker than the other. Anyway, I'm not that worried because we only have two trains serviced there, and if you look here, we've got full or nearly full green lights on the 3 iron unloaders. So the additional 4 trains from those 2 mines is enough to keep all this saturated. So that's pretty cool. And the stacker here used to be crammed full of copper trains. There are still copper trains here, but not very many, because basically, oh, there's an errant bit of belt there. Let's kill that. And it's signal, there we go. Okay, so because now we're getting the more iron through, that means that our base is chewing through more stuff. Because it's going through more stuff, it's now chewing through more copper, because the copper is primarily going into circuits. So let's have a look. We have expanded out our power station. So it's got the original collection of boilers here, the extra 2 here, and an extra 2 here. So we are okay. We're producing electricity and it is exceeding our current requirements. It's not a huge buffer. It's about 100 megawatt, maybe 50 megawatt buffer. Yeah, you can see there as our power use went up. Yeah. And our power use does go up and down because periodically we do things like launch rockets. So the other thing I've done is I've gone around all this looking for lights which were red. And they were various bottlenecks, so let's run through them. Basically, iron. So, iron for circuits, it's being prioritized and pushed down into circuits. However, the circuits don't run at full pelt all the time. And also, now that we've added productivity modules, it doesn't chew through as much resource in any case. So, where lines dead-ended before, I'm now taking a split off and pushing it up into research. There's enough iron, so the first thing we do is push some in at the beginning of research. That goes into red science, red and green science. We then bring in a second stream of iron, top up the belts, and that ensures that the turrets and gears of military is now adequately supplied with iron. Now, even though we were doing that, it still wasn't keeping up because it wasn't making enough gears. So I've just enhanced those machines with 1 speed and 3 productivity. That is all working fine now. Then I brought in a 3rd line. Where is it? 3rd line of, yeah, here. And this ensures that there is enough iron going into making mining drills. So the belts were all the right size for when the mining drills were running as is. Now that we've added some productivity mods and some of the bottlenecks, that side are no longer there. The gear machines were pretty much chewing through a full blue belt of iron. We then merge in a 2nd line of iron just to make sure there is enough for the speed boosted mining drills. So it's because we're speed boosting and prod modding, the combination meant that this, which was ratioed out for no mods, 1 blue belt wasn't quite enough. So we just top it up with a bit. So that all works. That keeps all that nice and green. Then periodically we ran out of reds here. But that seems to be when modules are being made, right? So if modules are not being made up, this is all fine. As soon as modules kick in, the blue science is the one which runs out. I'm not that stressed about that. The modules at the moment are only being made in small batches. It's really not the issue. Okay, so this is all running reasonably okay. Rockets are being launched periodically. We are up to 66 satellites. You can see rocket science, space science is being dumped out of this chest at the moment. The chest is hooked up to the satellite inserters. You can see there's a red light there. So we've currently got enough buffered up that the rockets aren't being launched. So although we have a couple of red lights on here which indicate that we are not producing rocket-related stuff quite as fast as it is possible to, they're actually being launched as fast as we can research at the moment. So I'm fairly happy with this. It's a little bit jury-rigged, but it's doing the job. Okay, so what's next? Well, if we come back here, a couple of broadcasts ago, you may remember I set up some little bot builds for satellites and capacitors, which sort of worked, but couldn't get the materials in because we don't have a nice tight logistics network. It just wasn't really working very well. So what I've done instead is steel belts. So for the drone chassis, there was a batteries and green circuits. So here for the capacitors, we are using the batteries off that. We are pulling in a line of iron plates, which ultimately comes from the bottom of the red circuit build. Then we are pulling in copper plates from the bottom of the blue circuit build, and steel, again from over here from the drones, right? So this is ugly nasty. I don't care, it works. It keeps these machines going pretty close to full pelt. So they have now made an adequate quantity of solar. And I think the thing we need to do now is set up a solar train and then see about building a solar field, because the game plan, as I've mentioned before, is to build a mega base. I'm going to keep this base running in the meantime because it does run. So for starters, I'm going to fill this whole area with solar. Possibly reroute this train line to across the top somewhere. Maybe rip out this bottom wall and basically pave the whole of this with solar. So the first thing to do is to set up a solar train and start building this, probably from the back in. The plan after that is to put a bottom wall all the way across to take in this outpost. Something along here and up. And then I'm going to start paving with solar from this bottom upwards. There's no significant resources down here. I need sort of 100 million plus patches to even begin to consider launching bazillions of rockets. So once we've gone across and up here, I will probably then start carving out about that amount of real estate moving north. And at some point, I will be happy with the amount of iron and copper we've got that I will set up copper smelting. Then the whole process of launching lots of rockets is going to happen from the top downwards. So my hope is that I'll find iron and copper separated from one another and large enough that I can have a dedicated rail network for the iron ore and another one for the copper ore. That will then go into smelters, and then there will be separate, not joined railway that come out of the smelters with the plates, which then push into the production pipeline for all of the stuff you need for launching rockets and doing research. So that's the plan. We'll see how far we get. Central to this plan, however, is artillery. So you can see the artillery range is not too shabby. So this boom goes all the way out to there. It's far enough now that I'm not getting continual attacks, although when there are attacks, they are pretty big attacks. So that's our pollution cloud at the moment. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do about that really. We are mining, we are building, so there is pollution. But I'm in two minds about whether to take a wall below the pollution line down to here somewhere. I don't know where down here would be. Let's get the manual targeter. Okay, so let's just explore a bit out here and see how far the pollution does go down. This feels like such a profligate way to explore the map, but it does work. Okay, so we're going down to about there. So the bottom of what I can kill manually is below the bottom of my pollution cloud. So one option would be to basically drive a line directly south to here, build across the map to roughly the edge of this outpost, build across the map the other way to the edge here, maybe out, because you can see how far does pollution extend. Again, where's the manual targeter? Okay, so let's see. We have such a massive range on manual targeting, but it's the auto target range that I really care about, because that's what just happens when I'm not doing anything else. Yeah, so my plan really is to try and put down wall that is outside my pollution cloud, at least to the south. And then that wall can be quite simple, just laser turrets and artillery. I don't need all the other bells and whistles because it won't be that many attacks. Right, so let's toggle the pollution, because I've found this is the only way to really see how far it goes. And let's turn off turrets, because they are annoyingly also red. So the edge is about here. So, if I went out beyond that edge, because we're doing a bit of mining now, so if I went out to where that water is or something, that's far enough. And again, let's toggle. Right, so the pollution ends about there currently. So if we put the wall down roughly where that copper is, that is far enough out, right? That there's my wall is just beyond my pollution, and the artillery would keep the biters well out of the pollution. So the biters would only be killed when they're expanding, not when they're upset. So that's the sort of medium-term goal. I've got no idea how long that will take, but we need the solar down now, so that's what we're going to work on. Okay, enough talking about plans. Let's do something. So the first thing you need when you're doing solar trains is a train, and for the train you need a station. Okay, I'm going to leave landfill where it is, put that in there, don't need those. I think I may have to move this. No, I think it might be all right. Okay, and I'm going to change suit because I'm building. Okay, so this chain signal can move to there. We don't have a normal signal. Where is those? There. So this. Yeah. So if I put a normal signal on the bend, that's a not terrible place for it. So we need a signal to let everybody know that we're in. Okay, and let's call this base solar. Great. We would like a train. 1, 2, 3 carriages, I think. Okay, so the first carriage is going to be, we have 4 ingredients. We have drone ports, we have capacitors, we have solar panels and substations. So let's make this a drone roboport, sorry. Now those stack to 10 now. Each one of my prints, let's have a look at the solar print. Do I have the... There we are. Okay, so that print has, you'll have to take my word for it, probably if you can't see it on screen, 6 roboports, although most of them overlap, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's maybe 3 roboports which are unique to this print stamping down. So a stack of 10 is 3 stamps, 54 substations, of which quite a few of them are unique to this. So if I had, so I would need 3 stacks of substations. So if I have 1 drone port, I would need 3 substations. Okay. Then 1.1K of solar to 1K of capacitor. Those are near enough the same numbers. So let's make this train the solar because it's got the couple of extra stacks. So I want this to be solar panels. Right, and what does solar panels stack in? I'm going to go and ask the construction down there because I can't remember. Okay. So these stack in 50s, as do these. So if we were genuinely to get 3 stamps down, in one train ride, and each stamp requires 1,000, that would be 3,000. 50, 100, so 152, 253, 354, 450, 500 per row, 5,000, yeah, so 2,000. So you can only get 2 stamps worth and a bit. 2.5 stamps. That's fine. So this is going to be accumulators, sorry, not capacitors. Don't know why I said that. Wish there was a way you could just paint these rather than clicking on them individually. It would be much nicer. Okay. So then we would like to have some, let's let's get a blueprint. I want basically to have a similar arrangement to this, where I have, yeah, that's it. So where the inserters are wired to the signal, although not like that because that's in the wrong place. Let's try again. Right, where the inserters are wired to the signal, wonderful, so that they are only active when there's a train. It probably isn't that important here, it's just I really want to get into the habit of getting this right. Okay, let's grab some of these because I want to make sure that there is a trash wagon. Great, that will get filled in. Then request the chests. And I want to prioritize this thing filling up. So I don't really want this to spend time here that it doesn't need to. Right, it needs fuel. We need the missing power poles. Great. Okay, so this is substations. I think 200 is fine. That's enough to fill up this in one go. Right, then let's request some accumulators. So 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. Is that it? No, that's not enough. Okay, so let's do 1,000. Okay, so this is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That's clearly overkill. I'll leave the remaining chest empty. So this needs to request some drone ports. And let's get 2 stacks of those, just in case. I'm thinking there may be more than one solar train going at the moment, but these things, yeah, well, we can revisit this. Okay, so we're going to request some solar panels. 1,000. Okay, again, take that up to 4,000. I think I can just remove the last one of this without causing any trouble. Yep, and we are now filling up the solar train, which is pretty awesome. Let's set this schedule. So first of all, so it goes to base solar, inventory full. I'm not even going to add a wait condition on that. I just want it to be full. Okay, we are not being fair at all to our logistics network, and I frankly don't care. This is one of those things which we will get right in the future, but which we need to get working now. Okay, this is not running because of batteries. And why do we have almost no batteries? We have almost no batteries, that's literally the problem. Let's chase it back. Okay, so the batteries are coming here. The batteries are going in 2 directions. They are being used for... Okay, so they're going into making lasers. Can't argue with that. And they are going into solar. And basically this build is not keeping up. Batteries, what can we do? So, can you put prop mods in batteries? Yes, you can. All right, great. So let's do that. And then let's speed beacon it, because modules and beacons is pretty much the default fix for things at the moment. Where can I grab a beacon? There. Okay, so let's see how well we can do with this. So it looks like we can hit 3 machines at a time. There we go. Then this side we have issues with fitting it in. So 3, the next one I'd want to put maybe there, but there isn't enough room with the lube pipe. All right, where else could I put it? I wonder if I can fit them in the middle somewhere. All right, so that's... Yeah, I think I probably can if I move an inserter. Let's come down here and zoom right in. All right, so I want to hit all 3 of these machines. The issue is the machines need 2 inserters to function. And this machine is going to cover 2 inserters. Right, so the only places it can go are where we have the gaps for the lights, because we can rearrange inserters. So for example, like that and that. Okay, then yep. And now we can put our blueprint in. Wonderful. So let's actually blueprint this. Great, so that's lined up with the light, and I need to take out everything from the red inserter to the, from there to there basically. Okay, and again here, and again here. And I'll figure out what to do on the end. Then now that they are taken out, we can blueprint that back in. Line it up on the lights, blueprint that back in. That one, and that would be the final one there. Okay, so let's do it from red to there. Put the, where's it gone? There. Put that blueprint back in. So I should, while I was there, have blueprinted the machines with productivity modules in. Am I being brought? I have 10 on the way, that's great. Let's up that to 20. And trash some stuff. Thank you. Let's start putting those in, because the sooner they are in, the sooner I will be given some more. $22 on the way, apparently. Sorry, this is a bit tedious, but you know, this is just one of those things. I can probably help out with building some of this. Right. And I just need a final prop mod, then we're done. Great, so let's set that back to 10, because that's a nice number to have. Right, we don't need this here. Let's head up to make everything. So our output of batteries has probably dropped because there are no speed beacons currently. Let's see if we can help this out. Here we are. Right, so I've grabbed 20 beacons. The construction bots are doing so many other jobs at the moment, mainly laying concrete, that it's a bit unfair really to expect them to do all these things. Okay, so that's 5 of those with 10 of those. So let's ask production what's been going on. So where are the batteries? Set it to 1 minute because that's easier to find things in. Batteries there. And let's look at the 10-minute graph. Okay, so we were producing at this level. By adding beacons and prod mods, we are... Yeah, that seems to have leveled off. Right, back to 1 minute. Yeah, that's back better. So we're now producing 500 and something a minute. So that's just a massive increase. There you are. So nearly, well, maybe a half as much again. Okay, so that will feed through, given a bit of time, to the rate of production of these guys here. Okay. Then we are not getting enough green circuits in. I can take a priority split off this, so it needs to prioritize batteries. And where are the intermediates? Yep. There we go. That's some extra green. This is all very sticking plastery, but you know. Okay. Now, is there anything else we can do that can help this out? I think this is the point where there are more batteries coming in and this is nearly backed up. very nearly backed up. And then the amount that's going down into making capacitors will double. Right, so we're backed up on one lane. Nearly there on the other. Right, so this should now be more batteries going through. Not exactly billions of them, but more. Anyway, it's a bit watching paint dry there. I'll let that get on and do its thing. Yeah, see that this is backed up now, so all the batteries are going down, which is an improvement. Okay, so what we go to the solar train. See, this is what all the construction bots are doing. They're putting down our refined concrete because I don't like walking slowly, and it's pretty. Let's put this over and run that across. And that is my alarm saying I need to collect children from school. So let's have one last look at the solar train. Yeah, the solar train is full. So the next thing is going to be working out where we're going to have our solar field and starting to lay it out, putting in a station and setting up the conditions for activating the stations and dumping stuff and picking stuff up. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I am. I will see you again soon.